JavaScript is a wonderful language, but it's also kind of a quirky language. Let's see what I'm talking about. If I go to my terminal and jump into Node, it has a cool little built-in keyword called typeof, which allows us to pass in a value and get the type of that value. So if I pass a string, I get a string back. If I pass a number, I get the string number. If I pass a Boolean, I'll get the string Boolean. Where it starts to get kind of funny is if I pass typeof on an object. Well, that's normal, string of object. But a lot of things in JavaScript are objects. Like an array is an object. Null is an object. So if we need to do any sort of conditional checks on our variables based on whether it's a string or a number or a Boolean, that's easy. If we need to do conditional checks, whether it's a object or an array or null, it's a little bit trickier. Fortunately, there is a solution. We can use object.prototype.toString, which is a handy method that basically returns what the type of the object is as a string. Now we can execute that and pass in different values with .call on it. And if we pass in a number, we get object number. If we pass in a string, we get object string. If we pass in an object, we get object object. And now what we really wanted to see is the difference between an object and an array and null. Very handy. So with that in mind, we can actually create a function where we say function get real type is going to take an input, and inside of that we're going to return object.prototype.toString.call, and we'll pass in our input. And additionally, we saw that the string that it was returning before had some square brackets and then object space and then whatever the value was. And we can make that a little bit nicer here. Because we know we're working with a string, we can call string.slice, and we can get everything up until after that space, and we can get all the rest except the last character, which was the closing bracket. And to make this even handier, we can call toLowercase. And that's what we can return, and that's our function. And this is real handy because now we can say get real type on a number, and we get the string number, very similar to typeof. We can pass in a string, and we get string, same as typeof. But things get interesting when we start passing in objects. We get object, same as typeof, but with an array, we get that array. And with null, we get the string null. This is a super handy function that I use in almost all of my applications. Anytime that I have to check what type of function or a variable may be, this is a handy function to reach for. It's very small, very lightweight, reliable, and consistent. So I hope you like it, hope you find it useful, and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. See you next time.